Most people, they're like this, right? How many times have you ever seen this or seen this, right? Everyone knows how to do this, right? So if I say shoulders back and away from my ears, they're down. And then I stack my joints, fists, wrists, and elbows, and then I'm gonna push myself into the bench. Simple. We have our pre-core press. This is our flat press or incline. This is our chest press. Okay, so who wants to be the first coach? You come in. All right. Load me up and push me in this. Or you know, do what you do if I was a brand new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Step in the right position. You're not one leg out, one leg in.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
So that way you can make your lower body stable, make your core tight, right?
Yeah.
So the next one is adjust the seat height. Probably lower and middle chest. And then once your feet is in the position, and then I'll just tell my clients to breathe. Because that's the easiest way to let them to feel that chest, right? To breathe in.
Yeah.
So that way the chest is pumped.
Nice.
And then just simple, just do, and then do a press.
Okay, so perform like 10 reps. Good, cool. All right, let's load it a bit. So, really good points he made. Like I always say, from floor to core. Like it's a little rhyme thing, right? So same for you, it's great. You know, when you're sitting down, you know, on your bench, obviously making sure your feet are where they should be. You don't want to be dancing around, right? You also don't want to, when you're pressing, to call it happy feet. When people are pressing, they're just doing this stuff and they're crip walking or whatnot, right? When you're pressing, a lot of times people press, they think just push this thing off my chest, right? So we get a lot of, you know, shoulders rolling, right? Because not everybody's, you can take a deep breath in, which is a great cue to naturally get yourself up. They need to have a little more understanding of how to press. So I always give this analogy. It's Dante Tate made this one. Whenever you're pushing, I want you to think of not pushing the weight off your chest, but this isn't going anywhere. You're pushing yourself into the back of the bench, right? It gives them a different approach. So if I think about pressing, most people are like, this is press. When I think pushing myself in the back of the bench, I do this. So my alignment stays where it should be. Now, a couple of things too is great alignment of lining this up. What I like to do is I call it stacking your joints. So I went to the side. Whenever I coach, I watch someone in a set do a rep and I watch it from here to the side and back. Stacking your joints is basically making sure your fist, your wrist, and your elbow is on the same plane, right? So if you see most people, they're like this, right? How many times have you ever seen this or seen this, right? So I talk stack the joint, which means that every time the elbow goes and cracks back, it stays behind this bar. So this can apply for every single thing that you do, right? So again, from floor to core, push your button to the back of the bench. Like, be active, make sure they're active from the ground. Your body, you're benching or whatever you're doing, it's a full body workout. The entire body is helping isolate this movement. So great, but make them, I'm on the front floor here, as easy as this. I should be in a squat position to be able to stand right up. If I was gonna do a squat and sit down, I'm perfect. Now I'm gonna push my feet from the back, from here, push my button to the back of the bench. I'm pushing myself back. Then I'm gonna push arms here, shoulders back and away from my ears. It's a very easy one people do. How many people come in here shrugging like this? Everyone knows how to do this, right? So if I say shoulders back and away from my ears, they're down. And then I stack my joints, fists, wrists, and elbows, and then I'm gonna push myself into the bench, right? On the way down, I say, let the elbows crack and open, and we're gonna ride it down, right? I'm gonna pull this. This is a press, and it's a pull, right? So they're understanding they're doing both movements. They're not just doing this and letting it come back, right? They're pushing here, and they're pulling it back. Pushing and pulling it back. So let's load this up and let's get you guys on it. So I want you to open your eyes a little more. There you go. Push them back. Back. There you go. Sit down on the bench. There you go. Press all the way. Now when he's pressing, I just want you to understand that I want the first 3 inches controlled, right? So I don't want it to drop and then trying to catch on the way down. you're pulling it back, right? Each part of the movement, you're gonna control the first 3 seconds coming down, those first 3 inches, going up, right? So you don't wanna push it and then all of a sudden let it come back and then you're catching it on the way down. You're pressing up and pulling it down so we have that full fluent, full range of motion and negative from the break of the elbows, right? Go ahead. All the way back, deep breath in, push. Control it in, deep breath in. Good. When it comes back, before it's on that, then it's a deep breath from press, press. How's that feel?
Oh, really pump.
Yeah, good. This looks weird, right? We can't open our chest up. We want to be here, right? We can't fully open our chest up if we're locked in like this. Good. Relax, and next. Those are good. Now I want you guys to remember too, when you're demonstrating for your athlete, demonstrate it like a robot. Every single time. You want them to do exactly what you're doing. Right? So if you gotta remember, if I'm an athlete, I'm watching you as a coach, that's how my legs are gonna be. I don't want my legs to be like that, right? So even for you, there you go, open up, press. Control it back all the way, press. There you go, control it back. Now when you're coaching, if you wanna get in the feel a little more and you find themselves riding up, you try to get them to cue them here. Underneath, pull your elbow, shoulders down, there you go. Push them that, go. There you go, right? When it gets harder, I'm gonna get them to tighten their lats even more. Pushing your lats, chest up even more when you're pulling down, so it helps them not end up like this by the time they're at their end of their rep. They're pressing like this, right? There you go. Now, when we say floor to core, when I say engage your core, what do you guys think when I mean engage your core? How? Okay, that's a good. No, it's honestly, seriously, like that's a good cue to use, right? Because if I say shh, right, my core naturally will get engaged. When I say engage your core, a lot of people think that means do a vacuum, right? I see them all the time, and I'll touch their stomach, and their stomach isn't on, and I'm like, when I say engage, you don't want to ever do a vacuum when you're trying to do anything hard, right? So that is a good shh, right? What I like to tell people is, say push and pull and touch your stomach. Say push, pull, push, pull. You can't say push and you can't say pull without your stomach engaging, right? So make the P last longer. Push, pull, right?
Usually our cue, like especially for bench, what we do is before they do the push, we knock onto their knee to see if
Make
they're
sure
actually firm.
engaged.
Exactly.
Yeah, really good.
And then poking the core to see if they can push against.
Perfect, good. Yeah, love it. I like that. Shh. Shh.
I found that
Like, shh.
I found that useful.
It's good. But that's what I mean by coming up with some really good cues, right? Like everyone knows how to get shh. If I say engage your core, they'll be like, what? If I say shh, say shh. Oh, okay. Especially if you have kids, you've probably been saying shh for a while too, right? All right, ladies, should I pull this off or?
They can.
They can? So 10 good reps, right? So when people say I can do 10 reps, that's why I always say 10 reps. What can I do for 10 reps and under control? Anyone can do 1 rep. The less is more, right? So she's an extremely crazy arch in her back, which is probably natural. I want you to put your butt back even further in there. There you go. Now you can still have that arch in your back, but we gotta make sure we're, right? While we're doing it, right? So it's fine to have an arch in your back, but it needs to be engaged as well too, because if we don't, they're gonna be the same issue I have with my back. So go ahead. Good. Now when you think about this too, the fluent motion of the press is what we really want. Now for me, I'm stupid. I'm very, very like anal about everything. I'm gonna see that little jab as I don't want to jab. I want you to pull it back. So pull it back, keep going, pull it back. All the way, big breath. Now push. There you go, right? We don't want that recoil, right? Keep going. So we have her band, right? The rep when she's doing, when she's kind of like this at the end, is like this. It'd be like this, right? The difference between that or this, right? The difference. So when I pull back, I'm getting that full stretch and I have a better stretch reflection with the control, with aiding the explosion here. Coming down and kind of doing this is you're missing the mark and stretching those fibers to be able to have enough strength to pull it back. It's with anything you do. A pull, a push, legs, that full range all the way back is gonna stretch that fiber, so it's gonna let you, catapult that weight through, right? Again, when we're doing this, I want you to think we're here, we're down, and then I say, right? I don't want to be here and then drop, right? Because that's the majority of injuries are going to come from, is this little bit of a, right? When people tear their pec, they're not tearing it up here. They're tearing it from this thing here, trying to jolt it up. And trust me, no one's tearing their pec with using as much weight anyway, but we want to create some good habits. Floor to core press, make sure you're tight from the ground. There you go. Good. Right. Make sure you pull back, pull back. There you go. So open it right up, take a deep breath in when you're about to come up, and then press. A little more, all the way back, all the way. There you go. Press, right? You want to see a direct change of direction. I want to see a distinct change of direction, right? Control the entire time. Good. It's really cool for me to see what we focus on. I want you guys to understand, like, if I'm gonna get a house built, I'm gonna call a contractor of some sort, and I'm gonna trust that that guy knows how to swing a hammer. And I make this analogy all the time. You have like an architect. Went through school, he's the best, and he makes the most beautiful buildings ever. But the guy can't swing a nail and a hammer with his life dependent on it. He's sitting there like just doing this. Then you take the carpenter who's been doing his whole life, he takes it, one nail, boom, it's in. Second one, boom, it's in. Every swing he's dead on. That's how we are supposed to be in the gym. Every rep that we do has to be just like that carpenter. That every rep we do, when that person sees it, they know for sure that this person is doing exactly what they need to do to help me build my house. So we have to be able to perform it the same way. This is our trade. The cool thing I like about training is when I go to a gym, I know, not just because of who I am, but I know people will watch me. I know they are. So when they do watch me and know they're watching me, my form is impeccable. They know that this is a skill of mine that they want to learn how to do. So we have to take that same pride in ourselves as a coach. Yes, they're not in shape as you are, but you need to take your skill level way higher than theirs, right? If pressing's not a good thing for you to do, start doing it more, right? Women need chests too. Whether you have like regular chest, no chest, big chest, you want your chest to be nice and high and good posture, we need to train our chest. Who's next? Yeah, good. Good. Is that, we have a couple more? I think we need to get you in here. You don't have to if you want to, but you know what? We need to get you. So we'll coach Jess, right? She's behind the desk. She needs to get in the gym more apparently. Her busy schedule, right? From floor to core, I want you to stomp on the ground, push yourself in the back of that bench. Chest right up, shoulders back and away from your ear. Stack the joint, press yourself into the bench. There you go, control it back. Right now we can see a little bit of shoulders elevating. Want your shoulders back and away. So think about, yeah, there you go. Hold yourself there, think that. There. I want you to feel, now when you're pressing like someone like her, I want you to keep feeling this more than anything else. While she wraps her head on, keeping her lats engaged, she's gonna line her shoulders up. Now her wrists are a little bit out. All right, so I'm gonna get her to reset again. So get your hand.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah. Go ahead. There you go. Now wrists, there. There you go. There, now shoulders down. There you go. There. Good, all the way back. I want you to think pulling it back. Pull it till your chest is open there and press. Pull it back. All the way, keep going, keep going, keep going. Press, there you go. Right? Now, important thing I just did, I dished the weight. You don't have to load this thing up all the time. Right? This is what, 25 pounds as is already? I think it says it on here. Pre-core, most of them are. Right? That's good for her. Good. I want to plank from the hands. All right. So here's what one looks like. Reason why I do a plank. A push-up is a modified plank. A plank is your regression to every single press. Your plank is, remember, stacking the joints, your hands are underneath your shoulder blades. My hands are gripped on the floor. And I'm here, and I'm engaged. My shoulders down, on my toes, my core is engaged. I'm flat. How's it look? Right? Some of us were here, here, here. When I adjusted some of the shoulder blades, their butts came down like this. Right? So you think about adding loads to your athletes. If they can't do a plank, they probably can't do a push-up. If they can't do a push-up, they probably shouldn't be doing any of these things at all. People back to square one to be very humbled when they come in here and like, I want to press 400 pounds. I'm like, cool, do a plank for me. And they go do a plank and it looks like this. You should be flat here, because then my push-up is here. Right? So just think of that as your square one. If they can't do a plank, they should not be in a machine pressing anything. Right? And they will thank you for that, because your plank is going to give you everything you need to know in terms of engaging your core, your legs, your glutes. Because when I'm on this bench, everything's engaged. I'm tight from here. Only thing different I have to do is just stand up like this. Same thing, right? Now let's do 10 push-ups. You're like, what? What the heck? And we'll go, let's all go together. And ready, and go. Good. 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 Now, there are going to be differences 100% with women and men. I don't care what society says these days, there is a difference. Sorry. So I'm not expecting women to be able to do as many pushes as men are, but as coaches, I'm expecting you to be able to do push-ups, period, right? Because all you need is one person to come in here and be like, and call you out. And then you're like,